Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Toby Eunice with a Gypsy's Kiss, and we have another in our series of It's All About You interviews, and we have a very special guest with us today because our It's All About interview is with a gentleman who's visiting us from Italy. His name is Massimo Santini. So this is fun for us because Massimo has come into town. I'm going to let him tell you his story, but he contacted us to let us know that he was in town, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to do a live interview. This is the first time we've ever done one of these live interviews where the subject, where our visitor is actually sitting right next to me, so it's kind of fun for me too as well.
It's a pleasure.
Massimo, thank you for coming here. Thank you for letting us know that you were in town, and thank you for sitting down for the interview.
It's a pleasure for me too.
Oh, good. So tell me about why you are here and who you are with.
Well, mainly I'm here, of course, just like everybody else who is looking for the treasure, for the Fenn treasure. And I come from Italy, as you just said, and my story begins, my Fenn treasure story begins around 6 months ago, when I read in an Italian magazine about this incredible treasure hidden somewhere in the mountain north of Santa Fe. And I told my wife that I want to do that, I want to come. At the first time, she said, "You're crazy." Of course,
that's what everybody.
That's normal.
All spouses do that.
And with the passing of days of time, we started together looking into your videos, into the internet. We got a lot of information because on the internet you can find huge information about Fenn, even wrong ones, of course, and videos. And then finally we decided to come, and we started following your channel. And I guess 4 months ago I wrote you a message telling you I'm going to come, and you replied. You have been very kind because you replied immediately. You said, if you're going to come, I'm going to offer you a coffee. And I'm here to get the coffee, of course.
Yeah, we did. We talked all about
I'm very happy to be here, and honestly, it's not so easy to come because I brought here my whole family, my wife and my 2 children, and they are 2 very young baby girls, 4 years old and 1 year old. So it has been a very big effort for me
and
to come here. And staying here, I'm planning to stay here almost 2 months, looking for the treasure, and having fun with my family, because I can't only say we are looking for the treasure 24 hours and a day. I mean, it's not possible to ask that. But.
So you mentioned, of course, that you had been to the United States prior to this.
Yeah.
And that you've had several au pair helping to raise your children who were Americans. So your daughters speak English.
Yeah, she's very fluent. She's bilingual almost. Yeah. She is.
And the other times you had come to the United States, who had you brought with you then?
Well, the other times I was here only for my job, because I'm an engineer. I work on my own now, but previously I was working for somebody else, so I came here visiting fairies, Las Vegas fair, and for fun once, and with my wife during my honeymoon. And it was precisely the same year that I was in Santa Fe too, on 2010, when Fenn released the book, but I didn't know about it at that time. So it is kind of a coincidence. I don't know.
So just to make sure, you said for fun once, and then on your honeymoon. Is that both? Was that the fun one,
no.
Or they were both fun?
Yeah,
but it was 2
of
different.
course.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
I've been 3 or 4 times in the USA during my life.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 5.
So this is not unfamiliar to you.
No.
And then I think you also mentioned, how many times have you been to New Mexico?
New Mexico 2 times.
Oh, okay.
This is the second time. The first time was on my honeymoon.
The one in 2010.
Yeah. almost 8 years ago.
So what made you decide? I mean, you mentioned earlier that your stay this time is for about 3 months. Is that right?
No, 2 months.
2 months. That's a long time.
Yes, a very long time.
And ideally, your business will survive while you're...
I brought with me my laptop, so...
Oh, okay.
And I have a partner who is working for me, helping me in Italy with my job, because otherwise I would lose all my clients.
Right, yeah. Do me a favor and move your chair up just a little bit closer to the microphone. Okay. That's good right there. Okay, good. And then, so tell me about what you and your family are planning while you're here for that 2 months. Yeah. In addition, so let's say you get a couple of days out for looking for the treasure, but what else do you plan to do while you're here?
Well, we're planning to visit other towns, just like, for example, Phoenix, Dallas, of course, going back more than once to Santa Fe, visiting very well Albuquerque, because we live here now. And we will see if we have the chance. We're gonna visit other towns. We have been in Denver. It's a nice place. So we have big plans. But mainly the main plan is looking for the treasure, honestly. We are going at least 4 or 5 times. We're gonna
to go look for it.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. And you're staying where in Albuquerque?
Yeah, we rented a house. It's it has a small garden for the girls and 2 bedrooms. It's a nice place to stay, because if we were going to a hotel wouldn't be good for our children, because we need a garden to play.
So they can
make a lot of confusion, you know. They yell, so it wouldn't be very wise to take them to an hotel.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So my apartment complex has a pool, so you'll have to bring the girls over one afternoon so that they can play in the pool.
If you invite me,
that's an open invitation, so whenever you can. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the search. And you did us the favor of filling out the questionnaire that we asked. And I asked you, one of the first questions is, when did you actually start, or at what point did your interest in this, did you get to the point where you were interested in the search? When did you get interested in the search?
Yeah, as when we decided to come, after reading that article in the Italian magazine, I started to watch videos on your channel and looking at other websites. And then I started to elaborate, how can I say, to understand a way to find a solution for the clues. And honestly, I think that a good starting point for looking for the treasure is the New Mexico game and fishing regulation. That is your idea, I guess. And after that, we had many brainstorm meetings with my wife, and looking to understand a solution feasible to the poem. I mean, so we have a list of ideas, but of course, if you don't go boots on the ground, it's impossible.
That's right.
That's why I'm here, because you can have all thousands of opinions and ideas, but if you don't go boots on the ground, it's almost impossible to find a reasonable solution.
And that was 2017.
Yeah, at the end of October more or less. So 9 months ago.
So you started planning for the trip that you're on right now last year.
Yeah, the end of last year. I booked the flight tickets, the airline tickets, and then looking for car rental, because 2 months is a long stay, so you have to find the right car, because you can't go with a Mustang or
no. At a minimum, you should have a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Yeah, I have a 4-wheel drive SUV.
Yeah, so and you have to take your family as well.
Yeah,
it's going to be more comfortable for them.
Yeah.
So, so you're a fan of the New Mexico fishing regulations. As a matter of fact, I have a copy right up there. You can take it with you, so you can have this year's copy.
I have only the PDF.
Yeah, the PDF file. Now you can this one. You'll be able to show your wife. Look at this.
90% or 80% is the right idea for the starting point. 20%, you know, it may be something else.
Are you just saying that because you and I are sitting here next to
No,
one?
no, no, no.
Oh, okay.
No, really, really, seriously.
So-
No, that's why, if I can't interrupt you,
Yeah.
it is why, because we are in New Mexico, and if you think that the treasure is here, you have to find. Do you know the philosophy about the razor of Occam?
Occam's razor,
yeah,
right.
I studied when I was
Science and
younger.
engineering.
Yeah, and this is the most likely solution.
Mm.
I mean,
The
the
most
most likely,
the
because
simplest solution is
yeah.
most likely.
Mm-mm.
Occam's razor in
Probably, but you know.
Latin, entia non sunt multiplicanda praeter necessitatem.
Ah. Bravo.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of Occam's razor.
Yeah.
I use it a lot. So we already know that you're searching in New Mexico.
Yeah.
What do you think the probability is in New Mexico versus what? Let me ask it a different way. What's the probability, in your opinion, that the treasure would be in a state other than New Mexico?
Where other than New Mexico is less than 10%, honestly. And I would give 9% to Yellowstone Park, 1% to the rest, and 90% here.
Okay.
Honestly, in my opinion, of course.
So we all, of course, would like to believe that we're going to find Fenn's treasure and that we're going to find it very soon so we can do whatever it is that we want to do with it.
Okay.
So when do you believe? So Fenn says he hit it in 2010. My sense is, and this is an opinion, he didn't expect it to be found in his lifetime, that he was hoping that it would the treasure hunt would last 100 years and maybe even 1,000 years. When do you think the Fenn treasure will be found?
Well, honestly, the right answer, in my point of view, is who knows? I don't know. Honestly, it's impossible. It's unpredictable. But if I have to give, the most likely answer is more than 1 year or never, because it's a very small chest. And the area is so big, it's huge. You should be here. I am here, and I can tell you that it's huge. So if you don't guess right the starting point, you have 0% finding it. In my opinion, always in my opinion, of course. I don't know the truth. So
that's why we do these things. They're all.
Yeah.
Everybody has to know that as we're expressing this, whether I'm expressing it, whether Massimo's expressing it, whether Shelley's expressing it, these are our opinions. But we'd like to share those opinions with you so that you can formulate your own opinions. So when I asked you the question about what percentage probability do you think you'll find the treasure, you answered 0.
Yeah.
But again, that's your science.
Yeah, it's very close to 0. I mean, it's not 0, but it's 1 in 1,000. No, 1,000, maybe less. 1 in 100,000. Honestly, but so, you know, somebody wins the lottery, so maybe it's me.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
But the nice thing about the lottery is that after every winner, there's a new lottery.
Yeah.
Right. So it cycles through and it gives another person the chance. This isn't like the lottery in the sense that it only happens it's a one-time lottery.
Yeah.
That if you win it, that's why it's so important to go out and look for it, do what you're doing.
If I can add something.
Sure. Of course.
I came here because in your life it's unlikely that you can go looking for a real treasure another time. I mean, how is it likely? The possibility that in your life you can have the chance to look for such a treasure. I mean, only one time, maybe 2.
You know,
in Italy there are no treasures.
Right.
So
yeah, they're all identified, recovered, and cataloged in some museum someplace. So when I started, and I'll share this story with you because it sounds like you've been through this. When I first started looking for the Fenn treasure, and I shared this with my children, who are at that time, college-educated adults. They said, "Well, why? Why? What? That's not what you've done your entire life." You talk about somebody like Dale Neitzel, who spent his life with Fenn's nephew looking for treasure. That's what he did for a living, and probably really enjoyed it enough to think about this. You're right. What you said before. In my lifetime, this is the one chance that I have to look for a treasure. It's not going to happen in another lifetime. It's not going to happen for any other reason, right? And I'm closer to the end of my life than you are to yours. And so there's a part of me that says, I want a shot at finding that treasure. And I'm sure it sounds like
it's an exciting adventure. I mean, there are people who goes to the casinos,
yeah,
and they waste a lot of money,
and or buy lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I can do that. I can go to I do go to the casino. I'm sorry, I play poker, but I go to the casino. I buy lottery tickets, but none of them has the adventure associated with this. I mean,
you can read the adventure only on a book.
That's right.
Novels. I mean, in reality, this is the only chance that you have.
So, have you always thought of yourself as an adventurous personality, or is this concept new to you? Or
no, it's not new to me.
Yeah.
I mean, always, but only my when I was a teenager or so. Then I've put it aside because you have to make a living. I have a family,
right.
So this is But my older daughter she's very excited. She keeps on talking about when we are going.
The 4-year-old?
Looking for
How cute.
Yeah, she keeps on telling me when are we going looking for the treasure in the forest, in the woods. I'm gonna say very soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know where you're looking, but make sure there's a couple of places that if she just wants not necessarily the treasure hunting experience, we can pretend for her that it is the treasure hunting experience. But there are some beautiful areas within driving distance that I don't think of as a location for the treasure, but do have that river and mountains and a place to picnic. And not that you don't have beautiful places in Italy and around the rest of Europe, the Alps, of course. But if she wants to experience it here, we can take her on a ride up there.
Thank you very much.
That'll be fun to do that. Okay, so this is your first time boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And you've only been to New Mexico. And which of Fenn's books have you bought?
I bought online only the first one. I mean, The Thrill
of the Chase.
Yeah.
From
the one with the poem.
Yeah, from the collected books.
Yeah.
And
shipped to Italy, of course.
And although Fenn's written, at least a dozen, maybe 13 books, only 3 of them could be considered his memoirs. What made you decide not to buy the other books?
Because I think that what is written in The Thrill of the Chase is enough for finding the treasure, in my opinion. The rest of the books are good if you want to have a more precise opinion on his person. I mean, that's it.
On the personality.
Yeah, personality.
Yeah. They're interestingly written, and I think that's what I would recommend. I think you don't even need to buy The Thrill of the Chase, because you can find the poem online. And when people ask us, should we buy the other books as well, we recommend you buy The Thrill of the Chase as an option. When people ask us whether or not you should buy the other books, we say if you're interested in reading what Fenn has written, if you're interested in his form of writing, and you want to learn more about the person, then buy the books. But what you need to know is in The Thrill of the Chase, and honestly, as I said, you can find the poem online. So how much time do you spend researching the Fenn treasure?
Since when we started, usually 1 or 2 hours a day, so total it's 7 or 10 hours a week, more or less.
So other than being a patient wife, how much more
very
involved?
Patient.
Yeah, very
very patient.
How much more involved is your wife in the treasure hunt? I mean, how would you describe her
Yeah,
interest?
she's helping a lot. I mean, she looks online like me, and together we have brainstorming meetings, and we are looking for areas. We use a lot Google Earth.
Yeah.
But besides that, as I told you before, it's impossible to go farther because only 1, 2, or 3 clues you can tell sitting on a chair. Otherwise, it's impossible. We made a list together of possible solution to the other clues, and we are gonna use them once we get boots on the ground. Yeah, then we see. Is it possible? Yes or not? You cross it, so you go further, or you go backward. That's my idea.
We tell people that the likelihood of you finding it the first time boots on the ground is very low probability,
very
because
low.
you're just going to discover that your solution is, I always say, crazy wrong. I've been criticized for using that. But you've got to work it out over time, I think. Fenn has said, and I think I think this is a game of hope for him. He built hope, but I think sometimes he overstates it when he says the person who finds the treasure will go directly there. I've been out in the field and a lot, and I don't know how that can possibly happen until you've been out more than once.
Once I thought that maybe there is a solution, and even if somebody has the right solution, maybe there is more than one place with the same.
With some of the clues.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, that could very well
maybe
be true.
Because even Fenn couldn't tell if there is in New Mexico the same place with the same 9 clues somewhere else. That's the problem.
That is. The
maybe
problem.
there are 10 places. Maybe there is only one. I hope there is only one.
I hope there's only one, and we hope it's
and not 1,000.
Right, exactly. So let's make a hypothetical situation, and that is, let's say you and your family go out looking for a treasure here in the near future, and lo and behold, things work out. And you can't do it in the first trip, but you say to your wife, what's your wife's name?
She's Miriam.
Miriam. So you say to Miriam, this has real potential. Let's come back next week before we leave. And then you make a third trip. And each time you work a little bit further along. And then one day you look down, your daughter has a flashlight, and she goes, Daddy, come here, look
out there.
And it's the treasure. Now what? How do you get that back to Italy? Have you thought about that?
I thought about it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
well, good.
I have. Now, first, I'm gonna faint. Second, when they wake me up, I'm gonna pinch myself
just to make sure that you're not dreaming.
And then I'm going with your suggestion. Your advice. I'm gonna find a lawyer and
put it away.
Yeah, tell me what I have to do here because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you can't walk through TSA with that.
No, I will not do that because I'm not so crazy.
Right.
No, it would be very crazy.
Yeah. Even if you could get it out of the United States, getting it back into Europe is just.
Of course. Yeah. No. I am going with the law. I will go strict by the law.
Good.
I find a lawyer and then we will see.
All right. So
worst case, I'm gonna be famous. Worst case.
You're gonna be famous in Italy and famous in America. You can start.
Worst case.
Yeah. So, tell me how much can you tell me about your plans for the next couple of months?
Yeah, for sure. As I told you before, we are going abroad, visiting cities, and as soon as possible, we are going boots on the ground. I have already a list of 3 starting points. And then, according to the results of these 3 places, we were going to change completely, or we are going back to the spot that is better for us. We will see. I can't predict the future. That's it. This is my idea.
Well, since you're not far from us, right, from
close.
Here, my apartment complex. I want to make sure that we make some time so the girls can come over and play in the pool.
Okay.
And then I would like you to have you and your wife over for dinner or lunch.
Okay.
I promise not to take you to an Italian restaurant because I don't know any good Italian restaurants.
I love Mexican food.
Okay, I got some here.
Really,
as a matter of fact,
really love Mexican.
You know what? I'm going to give you one of Aunt Lucy's cookbooks so you can take back with you.
Okay.
And
Thank you so
and
much.
you'll get some honest to good if you try the recipes.
Okay.
Who's the cook in your family?
My wife.
Oh, okay.
Mostly my wife.
She'll love these
I
recipes.
can cook now, but not so good.
Well, what we'll do is we'll plan lunch or dinner at a New Mexican restaurant. So that you get the effect. I won't embarrass myself by taking you to an Italian restaurant because I literally do not know any Italian restaurants. And I don't mean to offend anybody in Albuquerque. If you know a good Italian restaurant in Albuquerque, just let me know. And I don't consider Olive Garden an Italian restaurant. It's not Olive Garden. So, okay. Well, Massimo, anything else? Okay. So I do have one question. One last question, and that is, what advice would you give to someone who's sitting in other than the United States, sitting in the UK, sitting in someplace in the European Union, wherever? What advice would you? And they're interested in treasure. What advice would you give them?
my best advice would be don't give anything for granted, and don't even think about finding the treasure sitting on your desk with your laptop or keyboard, because it's almost impossible. No, I would say impossible. So plan to come here. That's it. That's my advice.
That's the advice of an engineer who has a successful business and who knows what Occam's razor is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good advice. Massimo, thank you very much.
It was
We
my
look
pleasure.
forward, Shelley and I look forward to meeting your family, and we hope that we can spend some time with you. And of course, if you're going to be here in July, we'd love to take you to the Spanish Market in Santa Fe, and you can meet Jason, my oldest children, Jason and Sean, because they're both at Spanish Market. We think that would be a lot of fun. And we'll have to eat a Frito pie.
Okay, never tried it.
Oh, that'll be an experience. Yeah,
Okay.
if you've never tried a Frito pie. It's not New Mexican.
How many calories?
It's more than you care to imagine, but you only do one of them, right? So it's one of those things.
I'm
where
gonna
you say,
try it.
Yeah, you say to yourself, "I'll do it this one time, and then I'll go back to my regular."
And then I have to hike for a long,
long
time.
to make up for it. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. We hope you found this as entertaining and informative as I did. Massimo is a wonderful guest, and we were very happy to have him here in town during his travels all the way from Verona.
Verona,
Verona,
North
Italy. In the northern part of Italy, and we're glad that he went through the trouble of letting us know he could be here, because honestly, the idea of conducting one of these interviews live, not that I don't enjoy the Zoom.us, but I love the idea of doing a live interview. So for those of you that are watching this and you find yourself in and around Albuquerque when you're coming out for your treasure hunt in New Mexico, let us know and we'll set up an interview, because I just love this stuff. Okay, thanks for joining us today, Massimo. Again, thank you.
Bye-bye.
And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.